Hello everybody. Hello everybody. So, what is the story? Yeah, today we're doing something a little bit different. Now, that might sound a little weird, but we are absolutely doing something a little bit different today. Um, Unfortunately, my friend Jan wasn't able to join me today, so I won't be continuing with the Borderlands streams for right now. Today, I decided to take a little bit of a leap, do something a little bit fresh, a little bit new. Um, and by a little bit fresh and a little bit new, I mean something I haven't done on this channel yet. I did something similar a long time ago where I kind of tested out some weird character concepts in Dungeons and Dragons. And today, we are actually going to be doing that exact same thing. But unlike before, I'm not going to have access to all the crazy homebrew I had due to a change in the device I'm using to actually do this. So unfortunately, that is a outcome I'm going to have here. But yeah, so this is a lovely thing called Dungeon Master's Guide. And now I'm going to get rid of the cookies warning just because that's going to annoy me today. And as you can see here, there's quite a lot of things. And there used to be a lot more. We're going to be testing out stuff that you can find purely in SRD or standard. It's just bog standard stuff. Now, I should have, this is something I should have checked first. Do I have my dice on my desk somewhere? Usually I do, but they may have been moved recently. Okay. They seem to have been moved recently, so we're going to resort to something else. So, yeah. Boom. Okay. So this is what we're going to do instead. We're going to roll some dice, and we're going to use some of the homebrew rules I typically use when it comes to character creation, just to kind of streamline things a little bit. And yeah. So, anyone in chat, and this is the thing I will do whenever we do this again, and anyone in chat can make a suggestion of what they'd like to see, whether that be towards what type of race they'd like to see, the name, what type of class we want to pair with that, backgrounds, proficiencies, and so on. So I think I'll do something that I haven't done before, which isn't a lot. To be completely honest. I haven't really worked with gnomes, and the only option we have here is rock gnome, so we're going to have to go with that. So let's have a look here now. What are we working with? So gnomes have speed of 25, so they're a little bit slower, which makes sense due to a reduced height. They have dark vision of 60 feet. Not everything needs dark vision, and they have intelligence +3. So wizard is looking good. To be honest, they tend not to be right in the middle of combat, so of course that is stereotypical, but we might want to do something a little bit funky with this. And then increase to con. Everyone wants an increase to con, especially wizards. So yeah, we'll start with a rock gnome, I suppose. Let's have a look here as well. So are we thinking wizard? Because with the boost of intelligence, that's probably a good way to go. You want to lean into your strengths, unless it's for role-playing purposes, in which case we could go monk, fighter, anything really. And we don't have artificer as an option because that isn't in SRD. Okay, we'll go with this. We'll make him about where my party would be. So just for a little bit of fun, and so that we get a little bit of those more high-powered abilities. Let's see. We'll go for level 10. My players are level 11 at the moment, so this is quite powerful. So we could just go and roll random hit points, but instead I'm going to do this here now. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to add extra dice. So roll 4, then drop the lowest. Any ones get re-rolled. Okay, so we drop the 2, which means that's a 13. So there is a couple ways you can do this. Some people will, or what am I doing? We just random this. I was getting ahead of myself. No one, so there's no need to re-roll. Perfect. Okay. And what were we looking at with hit points? I was getting ahead of myself. I was already over here on the ability scores, getting ready for that. Okay. We're actually doing pretty well for HP. That's pretty solid. And that will go up if we put in more to our constitution. It'll scale. So we might want to go with School of Evocation, because that is the only option. And we'll go to ability scores and feats. Okay. So, do we want an ability score improvement or a feat for each of these? Now, that question can only really be answered one way. We're going to have to increase our stats. So we're going to use manual entry. So we've got 113. Let's roll again. Okay, we dropped the 2, so that is a score of 16. Okay, I'm just putting them in order. I'll be moving them around. They're not going to stay that way. All right. So we get to actually re-roll the 1. So whatever shows up in that slot is what it's going to be. But at the moment it is 13. Do we get higher? We do. Okay, so that's 14. We've a 14 here. I find it's more fair to re-roll any 1s, just because it avoids the result of drop the lowest, but you get all 4s, or all 4 are 1s. So just to avoid anything like that, I do like to do it this way. Okay, we get to re-roll the 1 again. Once again, this is 13. Do we get higher than that? No, we do not. Okay, that's fine. We got to re-roll the 1 as well, so that's good. So that is another 13. All right. There's a really loud car outside. I don't know if you can hear that. Wait, let's see if I can make that a bit quieter. There we go. All right. So drop the lowest. That is 11. That is the lowest score we've had so far, but we're doing okay. We're higher than the standard for the standard array, which is part of the reason I like doing this. Oh, okay. Damn. Okay, we drop the lowest and we get a 17. Very nice. All right. Now, where do we put these stats? That is the biggest question. Now, I think what might be a good idea is lean into our strengths given by our race and subrace. So if we'll just put 11 there for the time being and make that the 17, make that the 16, and we change that to we removed the 13. Okay, so we have I faked this up, didn't I? What did I roll again? All right, there was a better way to do this, but I didn't do it because it would take more time. But I think I fecked up. I'm at this point I'm okay leaving it like that. So what I could do here is I could get that up and that up to +2. I think I want to move this. So change that to 11, change that to 13. Increase my strength and dex, take 1 ability score improvement, pop 1 in here and pop 1 in here. So this is pretty decent. Let's see. Oh, what's the point in taking a feat when the only feat listed is grappler? Yeah, we'll take another ability score improvement. We could level it out if we wanted to being a +1, or we could boost one of these up to 20. I think we'll boost our intelligence up to 20. Because under my my homebrew rules, if you've seen any of my shorts, you will know that I do like to go with this method where you actually get points equal to the number of intelligence to your intelligence modifier. So as you can see here, that's a +5 towards intelligence that I'm granting myself 5 points that I can spend on additional skills or additional proficiencies. So just mess it up a bit. So I don't know too much about my gnome wizard here. Now what route would I like to go down with him? Okay, so he's a rock gnome wizard, school of evocation. I wonder. This is actually really difficult. I don't know what route I want to go down with this. I'm just making sure I am actually live, that it is working. That's good. Also, these are all my shorts. They're actually doing reasonably well, as in people are actually seeing them. So I'm very happy with that. And actually, at some point, I might get my VTuber avatar. I might use that for shorts, but I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Background, Acolyte is the only choice. What does Acolyte give us? Insight proficiency and religion proficiency. Okay. Your life has been devoted to serving a god or gods. That doesn't help me choose. Okay. Alright. Let's see if looking at my skills here provides any information. So proficiency in insight and religion, very good at religion, so a very devout character. Okay, good. He's got good wisdom and good intelligence as per his saving throws. His wisdom actually isn't that high, so we could go down. Okay. Alright. So, my idea for this character has just fully formed in my brain. So he's a very intelligent person, knows about the depths of the arcane arts. He's entranced by it. Nothing gives him more satisfaction than to learn more about magic, about the gods, about the realms around him. It's what excites him. It's what drives him to keep living, keep waking up each morning. It's the driving force behind everything that he does. And he's unable to look past that desire for knowledge, hence the low wisdom, but the high intelligence. Now, he could be serving an evil god of magic, or an evil god surrounding intelligence, because there's a specific god of wizards, but I don't really want to use him. There's also Mithra, the goddess of magic, who I'm not too sure would really work for the character I have in mind, because she's more about balance, maintaining the balance between the magical and non-magical world, and making sure that the world doesn't collapse if someone like Karthus was to rise again and achieve unbelievable power. But this guy seems to be the complete opposite of that, in the way I'm kind of formulating his character in my mind. So I feel like going down a chaotic neutral, or maybe a neutral evil. I'm feeling neutral evil, actually. He's not purely chaotic, but he's driven by something. I'd see him line up more with the hags and with the monstrosity and the chaotic energy given off by demons, and I don't see him quite being as lawful as like devils. So on that spectrum, I'd put him in maybe neutral evil, maybe with a slight leaning towards chaotic, but yeah. Okay, so Arcana is an obvious proficiency to pick up. History is a good one. But that implies he learns from his mistakes. Although, then again, do we do that? So let's go with history. All right. And the languages. Now, this is an interesting one. Do we want to go with Abyssal, Primordial, Deep Speech, or... Oh, he already has no issues. It could go with Celestial. That would be an interesting one. Infernal doesn't quite fit the situation. Okay. I can pick two. And I have a choice between three. I don't think Primordial. I'll avoid that one. Although that would be very cool. I think I'll go with Celestial and Abyssal. They seem to make the most sense in my mind at the moment. Now I get to pick 5 cantrips. Alright. What would this guy use? Now, he is neutrally evil. Should he just be neutral? I don't know. Like, his passion is dangerous. But, like, he's not immoral. He's not amoral either. Interesting. That's something I'll have to think about. Whether he's neutral evil or pure neutral. Or true neutral even. Okay. Let's look down this list here. Chill Touch is a very powerful one. I recommend pretty much any wizard take that. So we'll go with Chill Touch. Firebolt, pretty powerful. Mage Hand, very tricky. I like tricky. Mending, useful. Message, useful. But seeing as this isn't a player character, it's going to be mostly serving himself and his minions, so they might not be the best ones to go with. Minor Illusion can be very useful. Acid Spray could be very useful. Same with Prestidigitation. Probably the best one to go with, so we'll take that too. And we'll pair that with Shocking Grasp, and I think I will go with Minor Illusion. So, for anyone who doesn't know what these skills specifically are about, and what these spells are, Chill Touch is a necromantic spell. It casts using one action, meaning you create a ghostly spectral hand. It's an attack in a space of a creature within range, and make a ranged spell attack against the creature to assail it with the Chill of the Grave. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 necrotic damage, and it can't regain hit points until the start of your next turn. Until then, the hand clings to the target. And if you hit an undead target, it also has disadvantage on attack rolls against you until the end of your next turn. So not incredibly powerful. So it's 1d8 necrotic damage for a cantrip, which is pretty solid. And then it also has the bonus of not allowing them to regain hit points until the start of the next turn. So if you metagaming, you know someone's going to heal after this because they hoard healing potions. Having someone use heal just before their turn, and you can assail them with Chill Touch. And the undead also have disadvantage on attack rolls, so that's quite powerful. Mage Hand is probably one of the better known spells. Spectral Floating Hand appears at 1 point chosen within range. The hand lasts for the duration, which is 1 minute, or until you dismiss it as an action. The hand vanishes if it has if it is ever more than 30 feet away from you, and you cast this spell again. Or if you cast the spell again. Sorry, I'm dyslexic, so reading this isn't the easiest. So you can use the hand to manipulate an object, open an unlocked door or container, stow or retrieve an item from within an open container. Now, Mage Hand can't attack directly. What Mage Hand can do is manipulate something in such a way to allow someone to hurt themselves, which is one of my favorite bits, because like a lot of people think that, oh, of course with Mage Hand you'll be able to hurt someone, just have it punch them, it can manipulate items, but like realistically, if you were to allow that would have to be the strength of a peasant hitting someone, so that would be 1 damage, an unarmed attack dealing 1 damage, which is kind of a waste of your Mage Hand, right? Why not simply use it to move an object into the direct path of someone on and lead them into a trap? What if they lay down some grease on the top of a set of stairs and a person comes across, has to pass a saving throw and falls down the stairs and injures themselves? It can possibly knock them prone and take them out of battle. What is the character's stats? So this character at the moment has 14 in strength, dexterity, 18 in constitution, and 20 in intelligence, because we're making a rock gnome wizard. A 11 in wisdom and 11 in charisma. So that's what we're working with so far, Al. I was quite happy with how I rolled, but because I'm only using standard, I'm not using any of the homebrew stuff or the expanded content at the moment. We're working with very bare bones stuff. The only feat I could have taken was Grappler, which really wouldn't suit a wizard. So we're kind of moving past that. I'm just going through some of the cantrips he's been given so far. Chill Touch, Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, Prestidigitation, because that's the most useful thing ever. You'll be so surprised how often that actually comes into play. As the DM, it's very frustrating, but for the players, they have a lot of fun, so it's worth it. Shock and Grasp, which is actually a shockingly powerful one, no pun intended. So yeah, it's practically garbage. Yeah, Grappler isn't the best thing. Yeah. So Al, I don't know if you caught the start of the stream, but unfortunately I wasn't able to do my Borderlands stream with a friend of mine, so this is a backup idea I had. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I will probably do another character after this one, because it's going a lot faster than I expected. So if you have any suggestions, you can pop that in the chat, and that'll be put into consideration if you've any ideas for what type of character we should make next. So the power is in your hands in this case. And if Frey and I ever have the time, we'll probably be doing another campaign. Shock and Grasp is good melee alternative to staff or dagger. Exactly. Yeah. Like, of all the cantrips that people know, they're like, oh yeah, Prestidigitation, Mage Hand, and Eldritch Blast. Those are the only ones that are good. It's like, it really isn't. Like, it was difficult to decide between going with Ray of Frost or Minor Illusion. Like, this guy at the moment is theorized to be maybe not a villain, but an antagonist. So he's going to be a little bit tricksy. He's going to be a little bit of a pain in the player's backside, assuming we ever get to play again. That's besides the point. But yeah. We do have some other spells. Do you have any suggestions for first, second, or all the way to 5th level spells that you think would be a good fit for a either chaotic neutral, or sorry, not chaotic neutral, true neutral, or a neutral evil? I haven't quite settled on what I'm going with. I know there's a little bit of a lag between me speaking. Major Illusion? Major Illusion is always a good choice if you want to upgrade from Minor Illusion. That is a 3rd level spell, am I right? I could be totally wrong. I don't... my friends tend not to play wizards. It tends to be me being like, yeah, guys, magic is awesome, isn't it? And they're like, we have a bard who doesn't play anymore. We have a gnome that... we've a druid who doesn't play anymore. So it's... yeah. And no one likes to stick with magic very often. Why can't I see it? I'm going to Control F this if I can't find it. You should have access to Major Illusion. Hold on. Major. It appears once. Major image. We'll go with major image then. Because I know with this site, sometimes the names are slightly wrong. Major illusion, it might be actually. Hold on. Alright. I'm going to just bear with me 2 seconds. The chat is really weird on my screen because I have 2 separate monitors. So I'm going to bring it up here on this side just to make it easier for myself to see. So bear with me 2 seconds there. Okay. Okay. Magic Weapon is a good spell for henchmen. Magic Weapon is a good spell for a lot of people. It's not just for henchmen, although it's a low level spell that they can get access to. So yeah, it's definitely a good choice if you're looking to make things a little bit more tricksy. How many do I get to choose? Expeditious Retreat, if things go wrong. Expeditious Retreat is a very good choice. Move with Expeditious Retreat. Lightning Bolt is good. Haste is good. But, interesting. Okay. I'm going to start just choosing them because I have 22 choices, 22 choices to make, which is quite a few. So I'm going to be Magic Missiles to kill Titan characters. Yeah, Magic Missile, just in general. Why wouldn't you want to go with Magic Missile? I'm going to go with Mage Armor 2. Vampiric Touch is one of my favorite spells. It's a necromancy spell where you siphon life force away from them. You make a melee attack and it does 3d6 necrotic damage. So quite beefy. And so, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to hide info. There we go. See invisibility. That's helpful just for my party. Also get slow. Yes. Now, is slow first or second level? Third. Modify memory. Okay. You're making this very easy for me. Modify memory is a very good one. I need to make sure I get that one anyway, because that's a must-have. Scorching Ray, Rave Enfeeblement. We are going to want some high-level spells as well. I do like Hideous Laughter, but I'm going to go with Find Familiar instead, just because I am who I am. Where is Modify Memory now? Is that level 4? No? Is it not level 4? It seems way too strong to be anything else. Except for maybe... Oh, no, it's level 5. Okay, fair enough. Planar Binding is good. Scrying is like... It's almost a waste sometimes. Like, it's very situational. So I think it's very good if you're a player. But if you're the DM creating a character... Does Polymorph work? Is Polymorph is 6th level, isn't it? Like I said, I don't deal with magic too much. Oh no, it's level 4. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Polymorph is good. Wall of Fire. How many do we have left? We've 10. We've 10. Okay, that's actually still quite a few. I'm going to put... Alright, we'll break this down, right? We'll put a couple more in first level, a couple more in second level. 2... Yeah, let's not forget about that one. I think I'm happy with how many I have in third. I think I should take maybe 1 or 2 more in 5th, and then 1 or 2 more in 4th as well. So we'll go with Cloud Kill, because that is very strong. Do we have Ice Storm? Where's Ice Storm? Ice Storm is level 4. We'll go with that as well. Greater Invisibility. I'm happy with that there. Glyph of Warding is good. Fly is quite good. bestow curse. I was actually just thinking the same thing. Now bestow curse is third, isn't it? Let's remove curse. Is bestow curse not third level as well? It is. Okay. It was just down the other end. Cool. We should go with spider climb just because I think it's creepy as all hell. Flame spear. Oh, we could go with darkness too. He already has dark vision. He doesn't need that. Grease is ridiculously powerful. And fog cloud. And that's it. Cool. Right? Wait, it's letting me take more. Oh, okay. We went one over. We have mage armor. We don't have shield, though. Do we... We'll get rid of fog cloud. Give ourselves find familiar back. And... I think we'll call it there. That seems like a pretty good setup. Alright. So, items, we'll just leave this as is. We'll just go through the starting equipment. We'll go with a Scholar's pack. I normally default to an Explorer's pack. Holy Symbol, because they're an Acolyte, which they can actually use as the same thing for their Arcane Focus, which is something I do like to pair up sometimes. So we'll go with an Arcane Focus. Now, they will be going with an emblem, and that emblem will be an orb. Healbot Halfling Cleric. Oh, that's a fun idea. Oh, that's a very fun idea. We'll go with a prayer book and a quarterstaff because I like the image. Yeah, because like we're going to make another character after this. It's been like half an hour, and I expected this to take a lot longer. I thought I might get one, maybe two characters done in an hour and a half. So. I mean, they don't like fighting. Yeah, so we're doing a gnome wizard, and then we have the capacity to go with something else. And I do like halflings. I don't use them nearly enough. Are they S or D though? That is something we're gonna have to find out. So we have the description here. There's actually a lot here. I don't know if you've ever used Dungeon Master's Vault before. It is quite good. You can actually add your own content. It helps you build things as well. So patterns and stuff. It's quite a good site to have. I think you do have to give them like $1 on Patreon to get access to everything, which I think is kind of dumb, especially because it used to be that way and then they locked off my content. I actually made a Desert Elf subrace. Desert Elf is an interesting idea. If you want to tell me more about it, please do, because I'm always down to hear other people's crazy fun things they did. And if you want, I'll tell you about some of my stuff as well, because I've had a lot of fun just making things. I don't have anything here to show you at the moment, unfortunately. I need to get the Orc Brew file again to put it into this. Because, like I said, change of device meant I lost pretty much everything. So, they do actually have a name randomizer as well, if you're not too picky. Do you have any idea for a name? Compared to doing charges an arm and a leg for PHP content, $1 is nothing. Yeah, that's fair. And also, this is on the down low. All right. Willy Trolley. Okay, sure, we'll go with that. Yeah, with they do have a Discord as well where they put up all the books as they come out as Orc Brew files that you can load into this, so you get access to anything new that's been added. So yeah, but don't tell anyone I told you that. I think it's also a precondition when you're giving the $1 over. Sorry, I need to hydrate. Pardon me. A nice big bottle of water here. All right. Player name, I just sometimes leave that as DM just because it's me. Actually, after this, do you want to perhaps have a look at one of the characters I previously made? It's going to actually, come to think of it, no one's going to be able to show up. I'll see if I'll find the orc brew file, and if I do, then I'll maybe go into a little bit of depth about that kind of thing. Frey and I are doing another stream together sometime next week, where we're going to have a look at, I think, it's going to be D&D related. We don't 100% know which we're going to go down and what exactly we're going to do, but it's up for discussion sometime next week, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Age, I'm thinking older dude. And gnomes live longer than humans, not a huge amount, like 150 years to 200 years, so he's going to be old but not ancient. So if we're talking maybe 90 odd years, let's call him 96. Doesn't have to be male, but could be. Oh wow, that's quite the message that's filling up my thing. Hold on. Alright. The desert subrace gives them +1 stat to con, advantage against exhaustion due to the extreme heat, gets guidance and resistance from cleric spell list, and prefers scimitar, glaives, and all bows. That is a you don't get enough things that give you a boost to glaives. Glaives are awesome, and anyone who says otherwise is stupid. And bows are underutilized in general. Based on Egyptians and who have plenty of hospitality. All right. Yeah, I actually made an Anubis class, which I didn't realize was totally broken because it was one of the first times I made a homebrew. Did I say class? I meant race. So let's see if I can remember this. So obviously Anubis, it's a dog-like, like jackal head, and had resistance to extreme temperatures. So the idea was that they'd have resistance to cold and resistance to heat and immunity to necrotic damage, which was a really dumb decision. And they also got a couple spells as well. Some natural spells, kind of like the UNT do. I think they had like light and guidance, and there was another one. There was another powerful spell they got. I think they had a lay on hands thing as well. It was completely busted. I never should have done it, but yeah, they were very, very strong. So let's see. What other things? Yeah, we'll just make it male at the moment. Height. So he's a gnome, which means he is shorter than 4 feet. He has to be shorter than 4 feet. Otherwise, he's a giant in comparison to the rest of his kin. So we'll call him 3'5". How about that? More than half my own height. I'm 6'1" for comparison. Alright, let's read this fast there. Okay. The lore for them is that they were once high elves exiled for tending to the wounds of drow. Awesome, I like it. When they were supposed to heal only the high elves. Due to their beliefs and care, this is very suspenseful. I can't handle the suspense, please. Due to their beliefs and care, what? What did they do? They were exiled. Anyway, I'm gathering that, which is a very cool concept. I do like that. I do like the idea of like magical creatures evolving over time. Oh, they made an empire in the inhospitable desert, becoming a land of hospitality. That's dope. That's a really cool concept. I'm going to steal that. Do I have permission to steal that, Al, please? just to have in my back pocket in case anything like that ever comes up. They made something inhospitable the land of hospitality. That's so dope. That's actually a really, really cool concept. I like it a lot. I have permission to steal it. Thank you very much. It's always good to ask permission before you rob someone. Is it okay if I break into your house here between, I don't know, we'll call it 7:30 and 8 o'clock. It's always important. Will we make... I kind of want to make him my weight. And seeing he's less than half my weight, he'll be totally pudgy. I like that idea a lot. Alright, he's 196 pounds. Let's go with that. Hair color. Hair color is an interesting one. Okay. More lore from Al. Alright, let's check this out. Okay. They prefer classes like clerics, paladins, rogues, and divine soul sorcerers. Okay. Divine soul sorcerers are really cool. Like, the concept alone is really, really cool. Like, they're essentially, maybe not demigods, it's more filtered than that. Like a quadragod or an octagod. But like, of divine dissension. That is really cool. Rogues is an interesting choice there. Oh yeah, divine soul sorcerers are really underrated. Sorcerers in a whole are quite underrated. Like, depending on how you build them, they can be absolutely manic. They can be so destructive. Like, meta magic is so powerful. Like, it completely destroys this idea of like, when someone's going to cast a spell, players naturally decide, we need to stop this and try to restrain them, which makes sense, right? Absolutely does make sense. But the issue with that is that that's only able to occur because the vast majority, or pretty much all wizards, need to use some sort of component. Like, an arcane focus gets rid of the need for material components, but they still need to speak, and they still need to gesture. Like, they still have the verbal and somatic components to deal with. Whereas certain types of meta magic don't require that at all. So you don't know they're going to cast a spell, just suddenly there's a fireball on top of you, which is terrifying. Like, sorcerers are underrated, and I'm not a huge fan of them purely because of that reason. That's not necessarily true. I do like sorcerers, but like, they can be totally broken, and the problem is I have players who know how to break it. So my experience with sorcerers hasn't been the most pleasant, but your experience may vary. Alright, hair color. He's old, not super old. He's probably going to be the equivalent of someone who's in their mid-60s. So we can do... salt and pepper grays. That's the wrong type of grey, isn't it? My dyslexia strikes again in this video. Okay, salt and pepper grey. Eye colour. He can have any eye colour we want, realistically. Gnomes typically have darker eye colours, so leaning away from the blue more to the green, brown, hazel. So we'll go with hazel eyes. Skin colour. He's a rock gnome, so he's going to be of a darker complexion. Kind of like Mediterranean. So tanned. Not necessarily from the tanning process, from the sun, but tanned in like kind of an olive complexion. Personality traits. Now this is the interesting thing. Any ideas for how to go down this route? So I've kind of gotten into his personality a little bit. I don't know if you were here for that, but the direction I'm going with this is along the lines of super passionate about magic. Passionate about the study of magic. Does he have any other personality traits though? Passionate about the study of magic and generally obsessive personality. Okay. Ideals and bonds we'll get back to. Flaws, the flaw is rather simple. Blinded by his obsessions, he rarely considers the consequences. So that rarely gives me the opportunity to play him slightly out of character depending on the direction a scene is going. Now I'm using stage terms because it's easier to comprehend, but that kind of thing. So I cannot spell obsessions wrong. There we go. Obsessions, consequences, spelled that wrong too. Okay, cool. So we've got those down. Is bonds. Now he's going to be bonded to a very negative force, which is kind of why I'm leaving him evil. Is not because of his own morality, but it's been seeping into the reality of the world he's living in, which I think is the only way I can really go with that. Okay, so ideals. I also made a ranged fighter for the desert elf. Jekyll backstory is the son of a divine guard of the Empress. However, he never understood the point of religion. Instead gazing his eyes. Alright, we'll wait for part 2. You seem very, very creative, Al, to be honest. Like, having a look at that, you seem to have a very good grasp of what makes something interesting and how to make something different enough that it doesn't feel like it's like, oh yeah, but this time they get an extra spell, and instead of being dexterity and constitution, it's actually constitution and wisdom now. Which there's no problem with doing things like that, but you seem to be a lot more creative and come up with some very interesting things around the lore of these characters. It's very interesting. It's very cool to hear. His ideal is to... I'm making him a little bit one note, just like everything's to do with magic and his obsessions. But like, that's the type of character I want him to be. So, ideals, I'm also going to make him a foreigner. Someone who doesn't belong, because it makes his kind of obsession more believable, I suppose. It makes it seem like a more reasonable reaction to a situation. Okay. Of his homeland, when he left, he was considered an outcast by the majority. He eventually became a mercenary and soon realized that he was in a cutthroat business. Very nice. Bonds. Alright. Cool. I'm not going to go too much into depth of the backstory, just because that'll just be a lot of typing and me not talking, which I'm sure some people would enjoy, but kind of defeats the purpose here a little bit. So we'll save him. So that's great. And then we'll create a new character from scratch. So you suggested a halfling cleric. So we have the subrate of the Lightfoot, which is probably the better of the two, to be completely honest. And we're going to go with a cleric. We're once again going to go with level 10, just so that we've access to some more high level abilities. We've no ones, so nothing to re-roll. That's perfect. And life domain is the only option we have, which works really well for a healing cleric. So that's perfect. Cool. Let's hop over and roll some dice. Grappler actually fits Ooh, okay. I don't know. Let's see how the roll goes. So we have a boost to charisma, boost to dexterity. Wisdom is not particularly high. We're probably going to have to put our highest stat there to make it worth it. Compared to the harsh treatment of the higher ups, which eventually made him a calculated archer who's as cold-blooded as the desert night. That's a dope line. But there is deep inside. Okay. Very nice. This character has a lot of depth to him. He's still a curious person, and as well. That's a very, very cool character concept. I do very like that. I like the class as a whole, or the race as a whole, and pairing it with that class kind of works rather well. He's a ranged fighter, which isn't one of the preferred class, but considering that he is an outcast, him going for something that's a bit untraditional for one of his people makes total sense. And in fact, I encourage that type of thing. Like, you don't always have to go with what the stats would imply. Okay. We're going to roll this now and have a look. Okay. Will be eventually warm up to his allies, or will he fall into a dark spiral into evil? That is the question. Will he? Only time will tell. Alright, so we dropped the 3, so that's a 15, which is a pretty good score. So we'll put 15's already in strength, so that's fine. So we'll roll that again. Okay, 1 gets a re-roll, but at the moment we're looking at a not great, to be honest. We're looking at a 13, but we get to re-roll the 1, and if it's higher than the 2, then we get it. It's still a 1, so that's another reroll. And that's a 6. Oh, okay, that changes things a lot. Okay, so there's plus 4 to the 13, so that's 17. Alright, I think that's going into wisdom for now. Alright, we're going to pop that in there. So we got 15, 17. Oh, hold on, I missed that message. Hold on. What is that? The fact that elves gain plus 2 stat to dex makes them good ranged fighters. Absolutely. They're very, very good. Like, it's kind of funny that that's the stereotype, but they do really, really work well in it. Okay, so we get to reroll the 1. So at the moment we're looking at 14, but if this is higher than 4, we get something better. Okay, we got 3, so that doesn't count. And it's just the 14 then. That's absolutely fine. 14 dex. Okay, so we still have 3 to roll: con, int, and charisma. Okay. Okay, we actually have 2 we get to reroll now. Our total at the moment is 8. Not great, but let's see what we get. 3 and 5. We drop the 3. And then we get 13. Which is con. Okay, grand. Just int and charisma. Okay. We get to re-roll the 1. This rarely ever happens, so I'm very surprised I've gotten so much of it. So it's 11 at the moment, but this is higher than 2. Cool. Also, the Divine Guards use either Scimitar and Shield or Double Blade Scimitars for reference. Sick! That's a very Eastern and inspired concept. I like that a lot. It's really cool. Okay, so what was the score? I'm just gonna re-roll it because my brain is dead. I've had a migraine all day. Okay, fucking perfect. Okay, that's 13. Reroll the 1, and we have 2. Okay, so we dropped the 2, so it's still 13. Grand, and we roll again. See what do we get. Reroll the 1. Got a Discord. I have my own individual Discord, but I don't have a specialized Discord channel. I do want to. I just haven't set one up yet. I think the community at the moment is very small. I have a couple regular viewers, and there wouldn't be a lot of activity on it at the moment. Maybe if there's a little bit more activity just in the streams, that it might be enough to show me that it's worth it. But at the moment, I don't. You wouldn't mind talking to me. I wouldn't mind talking to you either. You seem to be a very, very chill dude. Okay, we're supposed to re-roll the 1 now. I'm getting distracted because I'm an idiot. Okay, it's another 13. Cool. So we have our stats. They're all above average, which is nice. I like that. I do like that a lot. Okay, so having that there, 14 is quite good. The 16 dexterity, I like that. The wisdom, I wish I had an extra point in that, but that's fine because grappler is a bad feat. So we're going with ability score increases. So we're going to boost this by 1. Though, is it me or does clerics feel extremely powerful? Clerics are so OP. You need to really plan around a cleric because they disrupt the battlefield completely because they've introduced a little bit of chaos because you no longer have complete control over what's going to happen. Because is there a way to balance them? It's hard. It's hard. You need to kind of... Clerics can be built in such a way that they're competent healers and excellent fighters, or vice versa. So how you combat that depends on which type of player you're dealing with. So if you're dealing with someone who's maxed out their combat and is just a good healer on the side, then the best thing to do is provide monsters that have that deal more damage and have less HP. Because if they're only competent with dealing healing, you're forcing them into a position where they need to rely more on their healing than their attacking. Basically taking them out of the battle, even if it's just for a couple rounds. If you have the opposite, where they've really spec'd into healing and then they're not really focusing on combat, if you have a creature with huge HP that does medium damage, then, or has multiple attacks, actually, would probably be a better way to go at that. You need all hands on decks. Maybe roleplay it and following their god's rules to keep their oaths are good balance. Yeah, that is another thing you can do. You can, as long as it's been previously established, anyway, is the point I would bring up there. If it's been established that you need to follow the rules of your god to maintain your powers, then you can kind of introduce small penalties that'll weaken them temporarily while making them feel, instead of being like, oh, how dare you, they'll be like, oh, I need to make sure I'm keeping up with them, my prayers, sacrificing a portion of my food or whatever it may be to satisfy their god. By introducing something like that, then you've kind of made it so that if they're not following it, you're giving them a small penalty. It's not you can't use spells anymore. You might have one less spell slot for 24 hours or something like that. It's a unfortunately there's no such thing as a hard fix in D&D, or maybe a magic item on ceremonies. I would, as someone who gives out way more magic items than they should, I think giving out magic items is, unless they're only a couple uses, limited use items, I wouldn't recommend giving them out. So if you had a magical item that did something really powerful but it could only do it once, fine, I'm okay. I actually have started doing that. I've started introducing items that don't function as powerfully and then need to be charged to be able to do the really powerful thing. For example, I created a staff that it wasn't a staff of fireballs, it was something similar where it did firebolt unless you charged it, in which case it was powerful enough to do a fireball, and then it needed to be blessed and that kind of thing. Like sacrifice a magic item on God's holiday. That is an interesting idea. Like putting something forward, yeah, kind of like the Greek idea of sacrificing some of your food so the gods could eat, because they I don't know. It was a thing the Greeks did, but you never know what to expect. Okay, so cleric. Do I want? Yeah, I do. I want to boost con it up. Okay, there we go. Seems pretty good. Okay, what do we want to go with for alignment? We have to go with acolyte again, but that's okay. That's only positive in this situation with religion and being an automatic proficiency. Alright, so I don't like going lawful good. I always prefer neutral good, because it gives you a little bit of leeway. Because neutral isn't strictly when name her Sherry. Are you making a reference to Discworld? I don't know if you are. I'm taking a shot in the dark here. Is that a reference to Discworld? Nope. Okay. Because there's a character in that called Sherry Littlebottom, who is a dwarf. Because I'm making a halfling, I was a little curious there. That's actually an interesting concept. Would you be interested in me transferring characters from media? It is Cherry. Cool. Cherry it is. You know what? I'll do it now. Cherry. But you would be interested in something like taking characters from popular media, or media, I don't know how popular the things I'm into is, and then making D&D characters out of them that kind of make sense. Because like, let's see, like Gandalf is obviously a wizard, but how would you build him? You know? What kind of proficiencies would he have? And I think that would be an interesting thing that I'd be uniquely capable of doing. I say uniquely sarcastically, just for context. I think other people could do it, but I think I'd enjoy doing it, so feck 'em. Okay. Common, halfling, cool. We want celestial, and we want something that could be considered useful in a more general system, seeing as they are a good person. They're not the baddie. We like them. Draconic. If they were a gnome, I could see an argument for Draconic, just as a character. Al, you've kind of come up with a lot of the ideas for this character. You're kind of came up with the basic idea. Do you have anything besides the name and everything else we've done till now? Anything you think, a language that would suit a character like this? Because you seem to have a clearer picture in your mind at the moment, and than I do even. Celestial, yeah. Celestial, when casting a spell, is mostly... that's mostly a flavor thing that I do. Sometimes someone will say, I want to cast a spell. I'm like, okay, it has verbal components. What do you say? And then Elvish for poetry. Oh, I like that. Okay. Elvish for poetry. And I imagine in Cherry liking poetry. Okay. What? Level 10 life domain. Oh, yeah, they already have them, of course. I was wondering why I couldn't select them. Okay. Let's see. 5, and there is a total of 8. So what's... Instead of asking which ones are we going to go with, well, we ask which ones are getting the shaft. Thaumaturgy is good. Resistance is good. Light or guidance. Oh, actually, no, there isn't 8. I'm dumb. There's 7. So what 2 are getting the shaft? I think mending is good. Spare the dying is essential. Resistance is very powerful. Thaumaturgy is quite useful in certain situations, and Sacred Flame is very good. Light? You think we should go with light? Cool. All right. Additional weapon. Now, if we look at the stats, dexterity is reasonably high, meaning I see no reason not to go with a light crossbow as an additional weapon. The starting clerical weapon, mace is usually a good choice, but that's up to you. I don't have a particular preference. I do like the idea of using scale mail, mace, priest pack or explorer's pack. What do you think? Priest pack, cool. I like the idea of, so with the acolyte you get either an emblem, amulet, or a reliquary. And for clerics, I like the idea of having a reliquary, and then they have a bit of a saint with them at all times. And you can be a little bit creative with what it is. I remember one cleric they bumped into, it was like a tongue. Reliquary for divine staff. Oh, okay, actually they get 2. They actually get a choice between 2 because they get 1 from their acolyte background and they get 1 from just being a cleric. So do you want to go with a reliquary, and we could have double reliquaries. They could have like a box around their neck with like the tongue of a saint or something, and the other one is a staff used as some powerful used by some powerful god or something. I don't know. Amulet, we'll go with amulet. Very cool. And description, does Cherry have a surname? Windvale. Windvale is a dope surname. Cherry Windvale. Very nice. We'll call this DM again. How old do you imagine Cherry being? Older, younger, middle age, female, young adult? So we're talking mid-20s maybe, yeah? 26, 24, 25, something like that. Being a halfling, she could be older and still be considered a young adult. Pretty much? Cool. That's like a teenager in halfling years. I think halflings live 250 years. So like, yeah, that's a teenager. But halflings live longer than adults? Yeah. Yeah. So like, if we wanted to scale it, we could call her 30 and be like, here, sure, for them, being 100's middle-aged. We could scale it up if you wanted. Yeah, no, take your time. Have a good one, Al. I'll see you in a few minutes, I'd say. I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the last couple of details, and then if you want to veto them later, you can. Age 27. Major up another year. Very nice. Any idea for height and weight? You never ask a lady her height or weight, so like, you know, we can ask we can put don't be rude in for height and weight. No idea? I'll fill it in as I like then. Alright. See you in a mo. Optimistic and pacifist. Though those are good personality traits. What would you have in mind as a flaw? Her Achilles heel. Give her green eyes and she could spare a villain if she believes she can redeem them. Which is always. Yeah, okay. Alright, I like that. Alright, so she's optimistic. Oh yeah, it's rarely a good idea. Like, yes, people can change, but by how much, I think, depends on how far gone they are a lot of the time. You know? So, flaws will let a villain go if she believes they can be redeemed. I can imagine something like this being really frustrating for a party. So like with Critical Role and Vox Machina, The Mighty Nine. I haven't seen season 3, so I don't know what they're called. But anything like that. Someone like, I don't know, Grog, wanting to end some miserable villain who's been frustrating them for weeks, and then all of a sudden Cherry pops in and is like, but he's good on the inside, he can be changed, I can change him. It is a very funny image in my mind. So ideals, that is a difficult one, seeing as I haven't really come up with this. Yeah, it's the type of character that you never want one of your players to play, but you always want to introduce just to fuck with them. Because, like, it's great. People will love them until it comes to where the flaw would become relevant. They're a cheery person. They're very nice. They don't really want to get involved, but that's okay. Your party's capable. They can do it. And they're like, no, don't kill him. Please. So yeah, I love this type of character. I think you've done very well with coming up with the concept for it. Seeing as this is mostly your baby, I had very little to do with this. I rolled the dice. That was about it. Ideals and bonds. Yeah, no problem. It's a really cool character. I like it. Bonds. I always like tying it to either a couple specific people or an organization, because then that gives them more of a a specific directive, and ideals usually relate to that bond they share. Whether it be positive or negative, that will inform what the ideal ends up being. So I don't like how it usually goes ideals, bonds, and flaws. Bonds of family that loved her. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like I was saying, usually like the bond informs the flaws and ideals a lot of the time. Now, the flaws less so than the ideals, but like having a family that loved her could create whether she reacts positively to that will impact what type of ideals she has. So if she resents them because they loved her so much that they were limiting her as a person, then in her ideal might be independence, and to kind of get away from the smothering aspect of it, something like that. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened in this case, but it's just an idea of how bonds can impact the ideals. And if it's very positive, if her ideal could be protection and protecting her family, and therefore expanding that to more and more people as the party kind of grows from a low-level party that's not even known to being like known around the area, that kind of thing. Charity. I always try to help those in need, no matter the personal cost. That's a very good idea. You know what? I'm going to see if this works. Hold on. I'm just going to copy the comment into it. I'm that lazy. I wouldn't even type it. There we go. Charity. Very nice. Alright. That seems like a very good, well-rounded character. And we are about an hour and 10 minutes into the stream, and we've already done that many characters. Alright. So, I'm going to actually spice it up a little bit now. Alright. I think I know where to find what I'm looking for. So I'm going to give me 2 seconds just to check this. And if I am right, we might have a look at some of my other characters and just see what kind of things I've done before. And if you want to critique it, please do. I'd be very interested in feedback on whether you think it's absolute garbage or whether it's God's gift to mankind. I don't think it'll be either, but you know. Okay. Should have a D&D folder, which should have my files therein. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to be an expert on this to help out. Just an idea of having a look at it and just seeing what's there. Alright, it actually might be on Discord. I might have sent it before. Let's go files. Abby, you. God. Yes. Okay. Oh no. There we go. That's fine. No. We're not doing that today. Okay. Cool. So I should be able to drop that in here. Let's see. We'll go to content list. Import file. Boom. Okay. And there we go. There's a bunch of new stuff added. Alright. So let's have a look at my character list. I've started quite a few, but I haven't finished all of them. So here is... Okay. Al, do you remember the torture that Frey's character Zio went through? That we discussed it in the last time Frey and I got together on his channel for one of his streams. If you remember that, prepare to meet the lady who did it. You don't think you remember? Absolutely fine. Long story short, Zio is Frey's character, and Zio got tortured by a very sadistic woman who was called Aegis. She was a half-elf, mark of detection, and she was a bard. So her description: age 32, female, height 5'7", weight 148 pounds. She's not that tall. She's 5'7". She was 6'7" maybe. But she does have De Mistrala vibes for sure. Blonde hair, blue eyes, pale white skin. Now, the armor she wore is a homebrew armor. It is jagged fiendish armor. So what is fiendish armor? Fiendish armor is a type of armor I created, which meant she had resistance to fire, because it's a very common fiendish type of damage. It had a base AC of 12, so a little bit more powerful than you'd usually expect to see. And also, on a grapple, she would deal damage to it because it was jagged. There was sharp points coming out of it. So it's a little bit of something I added to it. She has resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. She's vulnerable to necrotic and radiant, and has immunity to fire. I thought she had resistance. I gave her immunity? Oh, of course, because Zeo tried using fire spells stuff. Okay, that makes sense. Lucky Blade Longsword. I don't remember what that is, but that is actually D&D. Oh, Deathly Blades. Oh, I forgot about that. What did they do again? They increased the level of damage, didn't they? Yeah, they did. Although you think they added it 2 little weapons. Who added 2 little weapons? I do not have the context for who added 2... Watsy. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there is not that many weapons in base D&D. I think there needs to be more ranged, for sure. Yeah, Wizards of the Coast. They definitely needed to add more. I'm happy to make more on their behalf, though. That's not a problem. So let's see. Oh yeah, right, bards. I forgot. Okay. Proficiency in sleight of hands, and expertise in persuasion, intimidation, insight, and deception. Is proficient in disguise tools, forgery tools, the viola, lute, and bagpipes. She speaks Common and Elvish, and has proficiency with simple weapons, crossbow, long swords, hands. I think that okay. Rapier, sword, short sword, and scimitar, and proficiency with light and medium armor. So, okay. That seems pretty cool. Now, what about her spells? She's got some good spells. You may notice she's got access to Eldritch Blast. I wonder why. I thought that's only for... I do this with a lot of characters. If I have a character that I want to make absolutely busted, instead of giving them like a level in Warlock to get them access to Eldritch Blast... Oh yeah, oh no such terrors. I give them a specific ability which should be listed here. It doesn't seem to be listed here. Oh no, it is. Okay. Magic Initiate. A feat you can take which makes you amazing. I recommend everyone take this feat. It is so good. Alright? Long story short, you get to choose a class. Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, or Wizard. Yeah, Magic Initiate. That's the one. You learn 2 cantrips of your choice from that class's spell list, which means Eldritch Blast can be used by anyone. Which is very strong. Indeed. Very, very strong. Oh, she also has Counter Charm. That's cool. I forgot about that. I haven't used this character in a very long time, so she's got a lot of abilities and a lot of really cool things about her. Let's see. Do you want to have a look at the create new character and what we have access to now? All right, we'll go over the race. Oh, look. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. We're scrolling for a while now. That's quite a lot. Lots of choices. Lots of choices. It kind of happens because, like, all the humans are separated out into what type of human they are. Except for, like, variant, which you have to just go into human for. And then select variant. Yeah. I think we should make a vampire. But which type of vampire do we want? Do we want the +1 intelligence or +1 wisdom? I think it doesn't really matter. Because I think I know what type of character I want to make. Yeah, we'll go with a vampire. We'll go with the plus intelligence version. Alright. You choose, I don't know. We have an idea. Oh, by the way, you know about epic levels? So levels past level 20? Up to level 30? That's what these epic types are. So yeah. Okay, and look at all these stupid... Oh my god. There's so many. We are going to go with... I haven't played Curse of Strahd 3.5. So I don't know the bride ceremony at all. Fortunately not. What's the bride ceremony? It basically skips the vampires? What? It skips the vampire spawn stage. What? That's busted. Strahd, why so strong? We're gonna go with a... Ooh, do we want to... Okay, yeah. We'll go with the Divine Soul Sorcerer. Affinity. Evil. Because I want to have fun. You'll have to see Reddit for it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's multiple ones. We'll reroll. Still ones. Reroll. No ones. Okay, we're happy with that. Cool. Meta magic. What meta magic do we want to go with? Subtle spell, obviously. Subtle spell is so good. Subtle spell. I like the idea of quicken spell or twin spell. Empowered spell is always good. Distance spell is good. Careful spell is good. Actually, all of them are good. There isn't a bad one. Empowered spell. Cool. We'll go with empowered spell. Oh, I can select 2. Oh shit. Quickened. We'll go with quickened as well. Empowered and quickened. It's so good. Oh yeah, and now we have the choice of all of these. Yeah, a quickened, empowered, fireball would be dope. Empowered fireball is just busted as well. Everything's busted. We'll go with a feat, and we might go with a second feat, but we definitely want one. So, at month level. What do you mean at month level? Or is that a typo? 9th level? Is that what you meant? I'm guessing because N and M are right next to each other. Yeah, you meant 9th level. Cool. I guessed correctly because M and N are next to each other and O and I are next to each other. Okay. So, we have a couple options for feats, right? We've a lot, but there's a couple I think are particularly good, right? Warcaster is good. I like Warcaster a lot. You also have, let's see. Yeah, you think Warcaster? I do like Warcaster. Another one I like, obviously, is Magic Initiate, but there is also Mage Slayer, which is very good. It's one of the better ones. What other ones are really good? There's a couple other, like obviously Great Weapon Master, Mobile, Visceral Attack, Weapon Master, Telekinetic, Telepathic, Tavern Brawler. But to be fair, Tavern Brawler is only very strong in a very particular setting, so that's kind of fair. So we'll roll away and we'll see what comes up, and depending on the result, we'll decide whether we want. Okay, we re-roll that corner. We re-roll this one, so we have 12, and then if it's higher than 3, it is higher than 3, so that brings us up to 14. So I'm just going to replace each one here going across, because that makes it easier for me. Okay, let's see. Okay. 4, 3, and 2. That's probably, yeah, no, that is the lowest ability score we've gotten so far. That's only 9. Okay. Yeah, that's not ideal. Okay, we re-roll this one, and we have 11 so far. If we get higher than 2, we got another 2, so we're going with 11. Oops, I closed the dice roller. Okay, we reroll this one, and it's 14. It has to be higher than 4. Okay, 14 it is. And then again, we reroll. Okay, 11. This is easily the worst one we've done so far, but that's fine. You know, you're relying on dice. It's never going to go perfectly. yeah, the vampire is way weaker than Cherry the cleric and the Desert Elf fighter. He's gonna get his ass kicked. And 13. So our highest stat is 14. Yeah, we're gonna go with an ability score improvement. We're gonna pop 1 in charisma because that is necessary because he's a sorcerer, and we are going to pop 1 in dexterity because I don't want a minus. Okay, cool. A very imbalanced character, but that's okay. So he's a vampire, divine soul, alignment. Oh, you use point buy. I've always been a really big fan of rolling, and I've tried several different techniques, and the roll 4 dropped the lowest, and roll 6 times has been the best one. There was a time where I'd roll 4d6 7 times, and then drop the lowest figure in each one. And you prefer consistency. I actually like taking a character that seems rather poor and then making them really strong through unexpected methods. So like leveling them up in other ways. Like their stats might not be particularly good, but they're very able to deal with 1 or 2 specific circumstances. And then trying to force everything to be in those exact circumstances. I like that idea a lot. So we have a lot of choices for background. What do we want for background? I always like the idea of a vampire being so basically gaining basic competency. Yeah, basically. I always like the idea of yeah. Sorry. Yeah, no, basic competency is a good thing to have. I like the idea of them having been a noble and then losing that position, but they still hold on to some of their previous lifestyle, or maybe being a priest of some kind, like an acolyte, but I don't want to make my 3rd acolyte in a row. A vizier is an interesting concept, kind of manipulating things in the background. I think, I think vizier is a good choice. Could do sage. Could do pirate, which is an interesting idea, seeing as they can't go over moving water. Didn't like the weak being an adventurer, believing only the strong survive in the hellish trade. Yeah, you do need to have some level of competency, which is why I try to force it with my weaker characters. Okay, let's see now. What makes sense for a vampire? Intimidation, persuasion probably make the most sense. Artisan tools as a vizier. What would make sense? Oh God, yes, yeah, we're doing that. That's too good not to. That's way too good not to. He's gonna have leather working tools because he's gonna make human suits. YouTube, this is okay for kids, right? Right? This is okay for kids. Yeah, leather working tools to prepare the hide. Yep. That's where I am going with this. Okay. We need spells. We need cantrips. So, Chill Touch, one of my favorites. Word of Radiance, very good. Spare the Dying, also very good. No, you monster. Yeah. I did, role play torturing Chris's character, or Frey's character, for several minutes, and did other things to a lot of other people's beloved pets. Although it was a dream, it didn't really happen. But when it comes to D&D, I don't hold back. And my job is to get a reaction, positive or negative. That's a joke. That's not true. That's still a low blow. Yeah, but he's an evil son of a bitch. It's fitting. Frostbite. Fair, yeah. Utter a divine word. Each creature of your choice you can see within range. I don't like the idea of him using Word of Radiance. I like him using other necromantic spells like Toll the Dead or Spare the Dying. How would it interact? Because he is considered undead. You point at one creature you can see within range. Okay, yeah, it deals. Okay, the target is missing any of its hit points. It does extra damage. It doesn't say anything about it being dead. Word of the Grave. Ooh. Word of the Grave. Oh, we're giving him Witch Bolt, by the way. I like Witch Bolt. Where is... Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, word of Radiance, but instead of being radiant damage, it'll be necrotic. That I like that. I like that a lot. It's a nice spin on it. Alright. So, vampire, right? These are some of the essentials in my mind. Sonatic static, because that's really powerful. Raise dead, makes sense. Yeah, exactly, using necrotic damage instead. Holy weapon. I could choose holy weapon, and then instead of being radiant damage, it's necrotic again. That's probably the only 3 that high I can do. Oh no. I'm gonna do cloud kill too. How many do I have left? 6. Oh no. I got my ass kicked by pure debuff alone. Nice. Where do we want to go with this now? He already has inflict wounds, which is sick. I'm gonna have to drop one of these, which is the okay. Synaptic static is just because it's buff. By that synaptic strike. Oh yeah. Okay, we're gonna go with Chaos Bolt because that is the best first level spell you can choose, purely due to damage. Animate Dead. Animate Dead is a good choice. Did I already choose it? That's Animate Objects. Animate Dead is level 3, right? Yeah. It is level 3. Animate Dead. Zone of Truth is usually quite good, but I'm not going to go with that. Let's see. Where is my Bestow Curse? Yep, Bestow Curse is a good choice. I think I will go with that, but I'm looking for one in particular now. Should we give him Daylight? Wall of Fire for Hellish Flames? Alright. I like that a lot. Where is my... Do sorcerers not get it? Is it not in the sorcerer list? Doesn't seem to be. I guess I'm wrong. Yeah. Alright. Never mind then. There was one particular spell I was looking for. But I suppose that's okay. You saw Wall of Fire? Wall of Fire is 4th level, isn't it? Yeah. Greater visibility will make him unstoppable. We have 3 more to choose. Melt into Stone. I like that idea because he'll just appear from nowhere. Life Transference. That was actually the one I was looking for. Okay. Feign Death. Cool. I think that's kind of busted. Lightning Bolt? Just roll a 5, dude. Just roll a 5. Just roll a 5. Chaos Bolt is the best first level spell in the game. It does so much. No Fireball. Not everything needs Fireball. But yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot. Let's see, Witch Bolt. Is it worth keeping Witch Bolt? No, it's not. Fireball. Just because everyone who can should have Fireball. Because we can quicken the Fireball. We can also empower the Fireball. We can also subtle the Fireball, which doesn't make grammatic sense. That is when he can get Mage Armor. Yeah, okay. Okay, fair. Artisan Tools. Leatherworkers Tool. And let's see. Does he not get anything else for his class? Interesting. Okay. It must be default. Drums. Here, if they had the option for a fucking organ, he'd have proficiency with the organ, and he would have he'd just have one pulled around with him so he can play his own dramatic melodies. He gets no armor or anything. Because the Divine Soul Sorcerer is... Hold on. When we try one quick thing. If we go Sorcerer, is there an option for Divine Soul? There is not. Oh no, that's the favorite soul. That's not the one I want. Divine Soul. Level 10. Random. Boom. Affinity. Evil. We had Subtle, Quickened, Empowered. It only clears is that one and our choices here. So we want a feat, we want an ability score improvement. We want to increase that to 16. Increase that. No, that's not the one we want to increase. We want to increase that so we don't have a negative score. And then we want to choose your feat, which is still selected, right? Yep, Warcaster. Perfect. Okay. Proficiencies, we chose Intimidation and Persuasion. Everything else is the same. Spells, oh bollocks, we have to choose the spells again. What was it? Spare the Dying, Toll the Dead, Chill Touch, Poison Spray. Yeah, I thought they would stick around. Usually it only changes that one. Yeah, that was my mistake. Word of Radiance, we said because we were changing the flavor of that. I have Spare the Dying. No, you think I shouldn't have Spare the Dying? Dying. We'll go with Frostbite. Do you want Hand of Necrosis or something? Change the flavor. You wouldn't allow them to live. True. We've discussed the type of person he is, what he does in his pastime. Yeah, you want a Hand of Necrosis is spell, where we're just changing that to necrotic as well. Okay, so we'll scroll down to the bottom. We'll walk back up. So we want Raise the Dead. We want Unholy Weapon. Is what we're calling it now. Did we or did we not have Cloud Kill? I don't think we did. Wall of Fire. Fireball. Feign death. Even. These backstories include some sort of treachery which could have involved him becoming a vampire. That's kind of what I was thinking as well. That's kind of why I made him a vizier. That it could be structured in such a way that his backstory entails him betraying someone, which would then lead to him becoming a vampire somehow, and then him being almost dominated by the vampire that turned him. After all, weakness does indeed breed treachery. Exactly, yeah. So, thanks for calling him weak again. I appreciate it. Do we want false life? We do, don't we? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so the idea of him being a vizier, being moved around from place to place, is on orders of a vampire higher up the food chain, and him just being his little minion and resenting him for that fact. So it could play into his backstory and why he stops being a vizier. He's turned against his master. So I think it's an interesting idea. It may be good, it may not. He is a little slave, that is right. That's kind of the role he's been put into. Okay, how many do we have? We have 3 more to choose, and I don't remember what ones. Greater Invisibility, I remember that one now. Oh, animate dead, obviously. I don't know. Has been taught that almost all undead are evil, especially vampires. Yeah, vampires tend to be the scum of the earth. That tends to be their role. Speak with the dead. That's an interesting choice for a vampire. Counterspell. There we go. Alright. Any idea for his name? I have a couple ideas. As Romanian names. I'd be careful. The last time I heard of Jake a rogue was before he left with the vampire noble. He was never heard of again. Okay. That's a nice plot hook. Little bit of mystery there. Okay. So, Vlad the Impaler was from Wallachia, which is in modern day Romania. That's where Transylvania is. So, we could choose a kind of traditional Romanian name to be the basis. Okay. Sergu? Oh, that's ironic as well because that's Savior. Interesting. Or Crown, because of his connection to royalty due to him being a vizier. There's a couple possibilities here. Or Son. I'm not calling him that. I have my personal reasons for why I'm not calling him that. Hold on. What was that? Who work together on some occasions, much to Jaquel's. Yeah, am I pronouncing that right? Jaquel? Or Jaquel? Yeah, Jaquel. Jaquel. I don't know which is you're confirming. I think Sergio is the name I'm gonna go with. It sounds a little bit Russian, which is like Vlad. Jaquel, cool. So it's pronounced like my name on the platform. Kayl, Kale. Cool. Makes me think of Ja Rule. The way you typed it there. I don't know why I'd ever think that, but I do. Okay. It's similar to Jackal. Yeah, I was kind of picking up on that. Which is, especially if you're going down the Egyptian route, that's a very, very good name for him. It's a very fitting name. Sergu Vordenkesil. It sounds like a very pompous name. Once again, we'll go with DM. We'll make him a lot older than would typically be reasonable for someone. We'll make him 319. We'll make him male. We'll make him age 200 years old. How about 319? 200 years ago was young. 200 years is a good age. I usually don't like using like round numbers, just because like for some reason, even though there's the exact same mathematical possibility that they'll end up at that age, it just seems like you're like, oh yeah, 20, how made up is that? Like I don't know, it's just kind of a weird predilection I have. Like, it's like I know that the chance of them being however old is just as likely as being 1 year above, below, 30 years above or below. Oh, like just by chance, but it just doesn't. I don't know. I just don't like giving them the round numbers. So like anything ending with 0 or 5 probably isn't getting luck in. Usually I'll just go like 1 above or below depending on how I'm feeling. So height, we'll make him 6 foot, white hair, red eyes, and snow white skin. I was thinking the exact same thing. Actually, I was thinking more golden eyes, but red eyes, like in some depictions of characters in mythology, the color of their eyes tells you a lot about their character. So evil characters have like clouded over eyes, or they have like red or dark light coming from their eyes, and then good characters have more of a golden light coming from their eyes. I was initially thinking of having some sort of amber thing, but it seems to fall a bit too close for that, so I think I will actually go with red eyes, like you suggested, Al. So I think we'll go with that. We'll make him 6'2", so he's slightly taller than me, and we'll make him about 184 pounds, we'll say. We'll give him crimson eyes. You gotta go see Frey? Oh, is Frey streaming now? Alright. Best of luck, Al. Have a good one. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it. Yeah. Have a good one. Alright. Make him Snow White. Personality traits. Now, you're actually late. Oh yeah, go ahead. No problem. Best of luck, Al. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. Oh, you're too late. Are you sticking around then? What does that mean? How can I not spell ferocious? There we go. Are you sticking around? Pleasure. Alright, perfect. Alright. So, how do you feel about the personality trait of being ferociously... you should stick around. Good. Ferociously loyal to his master. He's a very untrustworthy person. And let me see. But why would he break free from it? That's a good point. Maybe he sees someone else as being his new master. Like he by his very nature is a follower. So maybe that could be his ideal and come from his bond. He seeks out the strongest person to lead him. So he's fiercely loyal to whomever he sees as his master. Okay, so a slight tweak there to make that make a bit more sense. So his bond would be his master, whoever that may be. Yeah, exactly. His ideal would be something like power. So okay, flaws. Okay, now a good idea for a flaw. So essentially, his ideal is being obsessed with power, and he follows whoever he believes to be the most powerful. Flaws. Cherry becomes if Cherry becomes the master of Vizier, he would have to be sneaky to assassinate him. Yeah, he would do. He'd probably have to be sneaky to assassinate him anyway. But with Cherry, that would just complicate things. Because the Vizier, he would be no real willpower of his own. That's a good one. That is a really good one. That's spot on. Okay, yeah. No real sense of self or will power. All right. Unfortunately, I think this is going to have to be the last one we do. Because I have to go look after my son now. So that looks like that's going to be everything for today. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Especially you, Al. You've been an absolute pleasure to chat to throughout the process here. Getting 3 new characters up and running, and hopefully I'll be able to use them in a future campaign. Or if not, I'll play them myself. I'll find someone to do it with. So to anyone else watching this as a video, or who has joined the stream late, please do leave a like on the video, subscribe for more, and leaving comments is always good for the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, I'm really enjoying doing this, and I hope to do something like this again. Just kind of hanging out, chatting with chat, rather than chatting with the IRL buddies. You know how people in IRL can be. You know, they're a bit much sometimes. So it's just nice to have a one-to-one with chat. So, yeah. All right. Thanks, Emil. Best of luck, everyone. Bye-bye.